Hey friends, Amanda here at Bare Bones Living. Welcome back. And I just thought that I would formally introduce you guys to our newest family members. And these are the last of our intentional animals. We have added quite a bit to our homestead this year in the less than a year that we have lived here. And we had a very detailed plan as to what animals we wanted, the purpose for our animals, what we wanted to start with, things of that nature. And these two sweet boys are the last of that puzzle. And we wanted to have cats to help us with rodent issues. We do have mice. We have all kinds of rodents, right? And we have lots of feed for our animals that rodents like to eat. So we wanted to have some barn cats, and I have never had cats in my life. I've had friends that have had cats. I've had family members that have had cats. But I have never had a cat. So I've been exposed to cats. I don't mind cats, but I've never been like a cat person. So I was a little nervous about getting them. I've also never had an outdoor animal. And these are barn cats. So they live 100% of their lives outside. And I've never had an animal like that before that does not, or I raise dogs, and my dogs are all inside dogs. That obviously come outside, but their home is in my house, and they're very much family members. And these guys do not come inside, even though this one here, this is Oscar, and he has gold eyes. Oscar really wants to be an inside cat. He looks inside of our window and meows at us and calls to us. But we do not want to have inside cats. That's just our personal preference. Neither one of us are really cat people. And I don't want to deal with litter boxes, and we got them to deal with pests. So if they're inside with us, they're not doing their job. And our issue with having them indoor-outdoor cats is if we have lots of grass, we don't mow all of our grass, they're running through high grass and they get ticks. I've pulled off multiple ticks from them. Sorry, you might get nudged here because Oscar's checking you out. And we just don't want them to bring in ticks or fleas or anything else of that nature. And like I said, we don't want to deal with litter boxes. So they were born and raised outside. They were quote unquote feral from our neighbor. As you can see, this is Chester, his brother, and he has green eyes. Chester's more of our wild child. He's our wanderer. Oscar will sit by our door all day long and just wait for us to come out. Chester goes off and does his own thing and explores more. He gets more of the ticks. But as you can see, they're very domesticated. They're very loving. They are by no means feral. They're very playful. They both love attention. Yeah. And they're both kittens. They are not yet a year old. The vet had, I think, guessed that their birthday was August or September. So they're about to turn a year. So they were one of my neighbor's cats that another one of my neighbors who does a lot of animal rehab, and she takes in animals that need to be spayed and neutered, and she gets that done. And so that's what these were. More of, she's just trying to help control the feral cat situation, and so she got permission from our neighbors to take them and get them neutered, and she got them tested for feline AIDS and feline leukemia, and they were clean. So she did get them neutered, and then I picked them up from the vet, and so they are all good. They're healthy, they're young, they're super sweet. And they are just living up life here on our farm. We're super excited to have them. They are so much fun to play with. Like I said, I'm not a cat person. But they have been so much fun to have. They greet anyone who walks to our door. They wrestle. I know you guys have seen them on other videos. I just haven't done a video specifically on them. But it's fun to see their different personalities. Oscar is much more of a rough and tumble kitty, and he picks fights with Chester quite often, and Chester doesn't put up with it for too long. But they are definitely brothers that like to mess around with each other. And we're super happy to have them here on our farm and introduce you to them. And again, they are Chester and Oscar. Oscar has gold eyes and Chester has green eyes. Chester is my garden kitty. He's always with me in the garden. And chasing dragonflies, which is super adorable to see. So I'm sure you'll see him in my next garden update. And Oscar is more of the playful, lounge around kitty. He kind of reminds me of Garfield. One, because he's orange. Two, because if you look at him from up top, he's got a smaller head than Chester, and he looks like he's very slender, but he actually has a pretty big belly. He's actually heavier than his brother, which I didn't think was true when I got the paperwork from the vet. But then I picked him up and I was like, oh my gosh, you really are much heavier than your brother. But those are our boys. I wanted to show you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for stopping by today and joining in on our journey here at Bare Bones Living. We'll catch you on the next one.